Yo, what is good, everybody? Welcome back to another video. It's a brand new month, means brand new stocks. It's July 2025, and we're diving into 5 stocks that could be your ticket to millions. Today, we're breaking down the latest news, price actions, key support and resistance levels, and some killer plays for stocks like United Health, Apple, Uber, Tesla, and Palantir. Buckle up. Let's get into it. So, to start, understand that July, the last 10 years, we haven't had a red July since then. So we might be looking at a green month overall, especially itching all-time highs with some of these stocks, and the overall stock sectors we're looking great so far. So can we continue this bull rally, or are we going to continue to the downside? With that being said, there are some stocks that are still lagging, not even touching all-time highs, not even close, down almost 20 to 15% still from that recent sell-off we had. But the first one on the radar is United Health, UNH. This healthcare giant has been a wild ride in 2025, down nearly 40% year to date, making it the Dow's worst performer. So, some recent news, they got kicked out of Russell growth indices like Russell 1000 growth on June 30th, 2025, due to the steep losses, rising Medicare costs in its Medicare Advantage segment, and regulatory scrutiny on its OptumRx pharmacy business. Analysts are projecting a rough Q2 earnings report on July 29th, with EPS expected to drop 24.12% year over year and to $5.16. Though revenue might climb 12.3%, but here's the flip side. UNH stabilized recently, up 4.5% on July 1st, helping lift the Dow. Some analysts are bullish, citing its 2.8% dividend yield and low forward PE of 13.15x compared to its 5-year median of 19.20x. Is this a dip worth buying? So price action and levels. So some levels to indeed watch, because we are getting some good news and a little bit of a bull rally with this stock overall. Do watch how it reacts to that 320. If you can hold above that 320, look at 325, 330, 335, and 340. I'm personally going to see how it reacts to that 320 first. If you break below that 320, we can look a little bit more bearish and might buy some put options then. And or if we break above that 330 level, that's when calls are in play. With that being said, if we do start falling down, look at that 315, 310, and below that, look at like 308 to 306.5. This is where you can buy calls to the upside once again, unless it keeps on selling off. So if it does start selling off, just wait for a bottom, and that's when you can get in, scope in, and get your 2x, 3x, maybe even 5x returns with your option plays. But we do have potential of hitting that 340 to 350, all the way up to that 360, maybe even 400 level. So keep that in mind overall for UNH. For anyone that's trying to take their trading to the next level, made a website with a bunch of courses that you guys can check out. First link in the description below. Check it out if you guys want to up your knowledge on the stock market. Relatively cheap courses, and we have sales going on. So check them out while the sales is still happening. So next one is another stock that has been beaten down a lot. Apple. They've been behind with their AI, but recently announcing that they might potentially have a deal to enhance their Siri finally. They even got sued from shareholders because they were holding back on AI for so long. Some levels I'm watching is going to be that 210, that 225, and that 230. And then all the way up, we might even get that 250 to 260 if this deal truly works out. They're also making a budget MacBook with the same chip that's in the iPhone 16 Pro. And honestly, just more things coming out positive for Apple finally. That being said, I feel like it's just a hype play right now. So I would have my patience because we might be able to fall back down. Maybe it's that 205, 203.5, or that 200 level. So please have your patience with Apple overall. You can make some decent short-term plays. But if we do get back down to that 200 level, it wouldn't hurt having a long-term call option for this one. But Apple was lagging in 2025, down 16% year to date, trailing most of the Magnificent Seven except Tesla. Why? It's AI push. Like the new AI powered Siri has been called underwhelming, and potential perplexity deal might be seen as a defensive move, not a game changer. UBS is cautious, citing risk from the Google DOJ case in August 2025. Still, Apple climbed 2.2% on July 1st, showing some flight. The S&P 500's rally would be stronger without Apple's drag. So is it time to bet on a comeback, or should you have your patience? Me personally, I do have a call option with this one, and I did make calls when that play did come out, made a decent amount of money. So the call option I have now is really just free, basically, just using my profits. With all that being said, man, I think we might be able to see a little bit of a pullback to that 205 and maybe even a greater pullback to that 200. So I'm personally having my patience before I get any more plays after the one I made to yesterday. With that being said, we do have moves that we can make that, once good news comes out, it gets up to like that 205 to that 210 level from that 200. And a $5 move could be a game changer for you. So do watch those levels on Apple overall. Next one on the list is indeed Uber. We had a breakup a couple days ago. With that all being said, we are kind of around that range, that 90 to that $95 level. So if we can make a break above that 95, we could probably see it making that $100 move and breaking past that. And if we break below the $90 level, we might be able to fill some gaps back down, all the way down to like the 85 to the $80 level. So keep that in mind overall for Uber. But Uber is still on fire. When Tesla's down, Uber is up and is eyeing that $100 level. Uber is up 12% since the Tesla robotaxi launch last weekend, while Tesla's only up 2%. Why? Uber's Waymo driverless ride partnership expanded to Atlanta alongside Phoenix and Austin. We had another price target raised to 106 from 96, saying Tesla's robotaxi threat is years away from Waymo's, which is insane. Uber's also in talks with co-founder Travis to back Pony's AI US operation, boosting its autonomous vehicle game. And this is a stealth AI mobility play right now. So Uber is looking pretty decent, and I do recommend having it on your radar, especially if we can break above that 95. You could probably see that $100 level right after that 95. We can't hate on Tesla without talking about Tesla. So we do have numbers coming out and stuff like that. A key level that I'm personally watching is that 300. If we break below that 300, look at 295 to that 290. If we finally break below that 290, we could look a little bit more bearish. Might even have room to move to that 280 to that 275 to that 260 level for Tesla. But if the numbers, the numbers beat expectations, we get some better news. Because right now he's beefing with President Donald Trump. And honestly, there's a lot of risk with that. With that being said, if we do start going to the upside, look at that 305, 310, 315, 320, and then maybe even get room to move to that 340 to that 350. But honestly, I think we just need great news for that. But Tesla's in the spotlight, but not for good reasons. Numbers dropped today, but the big news is Elon Musk and President Trump beef. Tesla shares tanked 5.3% on July 1st, its worst day since June 5th's 14.3% plunge. A lot of people probably remember that one. After Trump accused Musk of milking EV subsidies and threatened a Doge review. Musk fired back, criticizing Trump's tax and spending bill and even floating a new political party. So this beef is killing the stock overall, and you can make some moves to the downside. But once we start finding a bottom, you can make a lot of money with Tesla. I mean, we've seen it in the past. We milked up a decent amount and then sold off a decent amount, milked up a decent amount. Like, look at this. It went from 225 all the way up to 290 within a couple of days. So you can make a lot of money off of Tesla's moves. Just have your patience, scope it out, and honestly, this will be a great one. Last but not least, we do got to talk about Palantir because we did just have a big sell-off, and the sell-off is continuing. Honestly, man, once you find a bottom on Palantir, you can load up on your long term is what I recommend, and also make some great call options, especially longer term call options. You can make a lot of money off this one. With that being said, I think we might be able to go down past that 130 level, but I'm going to be watching that 130. If we break below that, look at 125 to that 120. I think it might max out at 120. That's where you can find your bottom at, but please just have your patience. Wait until you see a clear break and then break back up to the upside. Like if we get to like that 120, wait until we get to like 124, maybe even back to that 130. That's when you buy your call option. Because once we start breaking up, we can get back up to that 140 to that 150 level, and you can make some groundbreaking plays. But this data analyst beast is volatile, really volatile. Dropping 4% on July 1st after swinging between big gains and losses. The tech sector has been rough, with the SP 500's IT sector down over 1% that day. No specific news is pinning Palantir down, but it's caught in a tech sell-off. Just like I said before, we might be able to get to that 125 or 120 and then bouncing back, but it's basically just a patience play. But analysts are mixed, but Palantir's AI and data analytics hype keeps it the millionaire maker convo. So watch those price actions that I got for you guys. With that being said, I hope you guys have a great July. Hopefully you guys are green. Comment down below any plays that you guys have. United Health has been beaten down giant with a comeback potential. Apple's fighting to catch up on AI. Uber stealing Tesla's thunder. Tesla's caught in a drama but still has spark. And Palantir's a volatile rocket. You just got to time right. Which one's your millionaire maker? Drop your thoughts in the comment, smash that like button, and subscribe. Have those post notifications on so you guys never miss out on a video like this. I also make daily stock market news videos and plays in those videos as well if you guys are interested. Let's get to 500 subs and good luck this July. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.